Hi everybody, Andrea here. Thanks for joining me. This is part of the Provincial Instructor Diploma Program. I want you to imagine that as a child, you loved to tinker, you loved to build and create things, you liked to pull things apart, you loved electronics, you loved wood, you loved materials. And you were always tinkering around, building and creating things. So when you were in high school, someone suggested you should go into engineering because you like building and creating things. And you did that. You went to university and you learned more formally how to build and create things. And you thought then out of that you might get a job being an engineer in a corporation. But you also had this little dream about creating and building something, and that you could maybe sell something and to the world, to give the world your passion. So you did some part-time jobs, and lo and behold, on the side, you created a product. And people really liked your product. Your family and friends raved about it. You're creating it out of your basement, and you were able to sell some, and that was really exciting. And people really enjoyed your product. And then something happened. You realized, I'm an engineer. I know how to build this, but I don't know how to mass produce this. I also don't know how to run a business. And so you realized that you had to go back to school. And you didn't need to go back to do another degree, but you needed to go back to college to do a self-employment program because you needed to know how to run your business, and you needed to know how to approach investors in the bank because you needed more money for capital, because there's no way you could be able to produce this cheap enough to be able to really put it on the market. So you started this program. It was a 10-week self-employment program, and you went to the instructor and you said, look, I'm really excited. I really want to spend 10 weeks doing this. Is there a fast track? I really want to get to the part where I finish my plan and I'm able to role play and really pitch, because I saw there was a role play on the schedule and I'm super excited about this. And the instructor said, I'm glad you're so excited about the role play. This is one of the student engagement techniques that we're going to use in this course. And I'm really excited that you want to try it. And I think you're going to gain a lot of benefit from it. One of the really important pieces about the role play, though, is that you need to be prepared. And while it might seem that the 8 weeks of the program to prepare for the last couple weeks to do the role play might seem like a long time, you're going to be surprised how much time and research you're going to want to spend really digging into your marketing, your finance, your operations, and just all the aspects that you need to feel prepared and confident. So you're skeptical. Oh, I gotta wait. But you trusted the instructor and you decided to do that. And so you worked on your business plan. You worked on the content of what your business was really about, and you learned some new things, and that was really worth it. And then a couple weeks before the role play, you were given the format. And the format was going to be that in your cohort of 12 people, you were going to be in 3 groups of 4, and that you were going to be playing yourself as pitching your business, but you were also going to be putting yourself in the shoes of an investor and also a facilitator. And so ahead of time, the instructor gave you some sheets and some formats and some questions to be able to explain how this was going to go, and some things you wanted to consider ahead of time to prepare yourself for the role play. The role play has to be compelling. And so one thing the instructor said was, this is a great activity because all of you want this to happen. And this is on the line. This is going to be challenging for you. We also don't want it to be too familiar. And so you're going to have to work with a group of the people you know the least. And so all these things together made it exciting. You were a little bit nervous, but you did also feel prepared. And that's an important thing about the role play activity. So on the day of the role play activity, it was great because your instructor had made sure she got a larger classroom. So each group had lots of space because you don't want people to hear each other and interject. So that was great, lots of space. And the instructor timed everything so that everyone had an opportunity to be in each role, and that would rotate. And it rotated a couple of times, so each person got a couple of times to be in each of the roles. And then the small group did a debrief. And through the debrief, it was so fascinating for yourself to reflect on the things you did well, but also the things that were challenging. And also just to be in the feet of the investors. You had no idea what it was really going to feel like to be an investor. It was one thing to prepare, but actually be there. Then you had a large group discussion. The large group discussion was even more interesting because everyone else had all these insights about what it was like to pitch, what it was like to try to think about being an investor, and all the aspects, and it all really came together within the activity. And it was so incredible for you to do that. And after the role play activity, you felt so confident, you went to the bank, you got your money, you were also even invited to go on Dragon's Den, and you actually managed to be able to get some funding for your product. So this little story is really for you as a teacher to look at student engagement technique called role play, and I hope this has excited you about it. My inspiration came from Elizabeth Bartley's book, Student Engagement Techniques, as well as an article by Rachel Stevens about role play, and also one by Jeffrey Bomaga, The Power of Roleplay and Creative Thinking. So thank you so much for joining me. Please leave comments. I hope you will use role play and try it out. I think you'll find it incredible for your students. Thanks so much.